With that, I'd like to introduce our speaker. Taylor is originally from Raleigh, but is currently working in Guatemala for an NGO called Asociacion ALAS. ALAS works to improve the lives of those in Guatemala. ALAS has recently created a new branch called DIJA, which aims to connect international organizations on the ground with the needs and projects in Guatemala. Taylor is currently working with several Rotary clubs, and we're really glad you can join us today, Taylor.
I'm Taylor, like Scott said, and I am from Raleigh. I went to North Carolina State University and got my environmental engineering degree there, and then I went to UNC Chapel Hill after that and got my master's in environmental engineering. And I've been in Guatemala for the past year and a half. I originally got there through a volunteer group called Engineers Without Borders. I went there in April 2015, and after that I decided I wanted to stay in Guatemala and volunteer. So I had been working as a teacher in a school there, but this past November I started working for ALAS, and our department that I'm working for is called DIGA, and in Spanish it stands for the Development of Infrastructure in Guatemala. So this is not the best map of Guatemala, but right here, Guatemala is centered, I think most of you guys work with Guatemala, so this is between Mexico, Honduras, El Salvador, and Belize. And the area we're working in is called the Department of Quiche, and it's right here. And Caniam, the town that I live in, and the town that Alice is based in right now, is right in the middle of Guatemala. It's about 6 hours north of the city. And then within the Department of Quiche is Caniam, our area, and then Alice has also done about 15 years worth of work. They started in the Department of Usmantan, and I'll talk a little bit more about their work in Usmantan as well. So ALAS has 4 departments. One is called Maripositas, and that's actually in the town where I live. It's a special needs school, and it's special needs for children and adults. And they work with physical therapy, nutrition, medical assistance, and they do Montessori teaching. So they have adults and children come in every day. A lot of them are deaf or blind or have special needs that they need physical therapy help with. And so every day they have different students come in. Here's a few pictures from around the school of students coming in for assistance. And then the way that ALAS started was through an education project in San Antonio, which is the northern part of our department. And the San Antonio area is a refugee area for the refugees from the 36-year Civil War. The Civil War ended in Guatemala in about 1996. 410 families were dropped off by helicopter in this area with a few sheets of tin to build houses and a few sacks of food to sustain them for a few weeks. So the project was to help the 410 refugee families, and it's continued now for 15 years, and it was started by the 2 founders of ALAS. They're Greg and Helene Walton. They're South Africans. They've been living in Guatemala for over 20 years. And they have this education project that started 15 years ago and is now pretty much self-sustainable. The school is now run by 95% of the staff has been through the school, and they're now the heads of the school. So we travel back there every month to check in, but pretty much the students now run their own school. And this is just a little bit about DIGA. So the idea of DIGA is to find engineering projects, mostly in water, sanitation, hygiene, education, and healthcare. And they're engineering projects that we know of in the area where we live or other areas of Guatemala. And the idea is to find support and sponsors from clubs in the States or clubs in Guatemala that can support and sponsor our projects in Guatemala. And most of our projects help areas of rural Guatemala, so where we live is pretty rural and it's a neglected population group. A lot of indigenous population lives in the area where I live. So just to show you some of the past projects, DIGA is brand new, but ALAS has been doing these types of projects for the last 20 years. So some of them include the school in San Antonio, bridges in the area. There's an agriculture project at the school that the students help run, and then they also have a solar project, and they recently completed a water project in the area. And then the project that I'm most involved in is a current project we're working with Engineers Without Borders, so that's how I got to Guatemala originally. We're working with a small community called Calante, and they need a potable water system. And the Engineers Without Borders is the Research Triangle Professionals chapter located in Raleigh. We've been working with this group in Guatemala for about 2 years, and they need a potable water system. The community right now, mostly indigenous, there's about 300 people, 57 families. They're walking more than an hour and a half every day, 2 or 3 times a day to get clean potable water during the dry season. So our group is trying to create a distribution system and then a disinfection system for the community in Calante. And then one of our other projects that we're currently working on is a new roof for the San Antonio School project. The school has about 12 buildings, and all of them have a roof that's over 14 years old, and it's beginning to rust and leak. The school roofs house a library, 6 different classrooms, teachers' quarters, and a technology area with lots of computers and stuff. So not only are the students having to deal with leaking roofs, but there's also a lot of technology and donated equipment all housed within these areas. And they're looking to put on a brand new roof made out of material that will better withstand the weather conditions that can be heavy rains and hot temperatures above 90 degrees. They're looking to put about 700 sheets of roofing material on, which is about $17,000. So as well as working with EWB, we're also working with Bridges to Prosperity. It's another group that builds bridges in the area. So we're looking to work in projects of bridges, water, schools, agriculture, and I also talked to the mayor of my town in Kanian, and he has a whole list of about 22 projects that he wants done for our community. And I just listed a couple of them. I didn't list all 22, but a few of them include cook stove projects. So here I have a few pictures of the current cook stoves. As you can see, they don't have an approved cook stove right now, so they're basically cooking over piles of wood, which is very dangerous for health. You can see that there's a few pictures where you can see just the smoke in the houses is very dangerous. And so one of the projects, there's our 12 communities looking for cook stoves to be implemented. Other communities are looking for, they're called pilas. It's basically a sink. So right now, a lot of them have the tap stands for water, but they have nothing to wash their dishes or clothes in, and it just becomes very unhygienic. So here's a woman, she's washing her clothes on this rock and just pouring in water. But what we're really looking for are these pilas. The central area is filled with water, and then they wash their clothes or their dishes on either side of them. So there's about 15 communities looking for the implementation of pilas. Another project is the latrine projects in our areas. There are about 12 communities looking for latrines. And right now these are just some of the pictures of the current latrines that can be severely improved upon. And then one other project that I decided to list on here was cement flooring, just to make the households more hygienic, especially in the kitchen. Most of the families around here only have these dirt floors. This is an example of one community that does have an approved cook stove, and you can see that it's a much better system setup. So that's pretty much all the projects that we're dealing with right now, but what I've been doing is I've been talking to different clubs and trying to see if anyone's interested in sponsoring a project, sponsoring a community, and just in general helping out and working with our organization, DIGA in Guatemala. Any questions? Yeah?
Could you tell us about what language you had to learn?
Yeah. So in my area, most of the members speak Spanish. It's usually their second language, but the primary language is Quiche, which is the indigenous language. So there are a few, maybe the older generation, they don't know Spanish, but most people know Spanish now, at least as their second language. But Quiche is the primary indigenous language in the area, and I do not speak it. It is very different from Spanish.
But you speak Spanish?
Yes, I will say I speak Spanish. Any other questions? Yes?
The level of poverty some of the people, experience that you showed, about what percent of the Guatemalan population would you say that represents? I mean, is that a very, very small percentage? Or?
I would say it's a pretty large percentage. I would say over 75% of the country. In our area, most people live on less than $1 a day, and it results in a lot of poor education, poor health, but there is a lot of wealth located within Guatemala City. It's actually been pretty shocking to see the stark difference between the Guatemala City and pretty much every other area in Guatemala. But there's about, I believe, 8 million people who live in the city and over 15 million people who live in the rural areas, and I would say over 75% live in these kinds of conditions.
Is the level of need such that Guatemala, does the Guatemalan government, how much relief do they supply to these citizens of their country?
From what I've seen just in the town that I live in, they do provide relief, but a lot of it is short term. So they'll bring in things like food, but they don't ever place systems that are going to be sustainable and last for a longer amount of time. So they are trying, but there's also a lot of corruption in the government, and things are moving very slowly, and the government doesn't have much money to begin with. So they do provide a little bit of relief, but most of it's done through NGOs and nonprofits. Yes.
Taylor, have you built any relationships with Rotary clubs in Guatemala?
Yes. So I've spoken to 3 Rotary clubs in Guatemala. One Rotary club is located in Guatemala City. They're more focused on city projects, but they're looking to partner with us. And then 2 Rotary clubs in Quetzaltenango, it's in the western part of Guatemala. One of them is very interested in working with us. The other one does a little bit bigger projects than the ones we're looking for. But both of them have talked to us about working with us in the upcoming year.
And in fact, putting together grant projects?
Yes.
Is that the idea, that you would get funding from Rotary International?
Well, our idea was that we would work with both Guatemalan Rotary clubs and U.S. Rotary clubs just to partner together, but we haven't talked to them about the details of where the funding will come from.
Yeah. Where is your funding coming from now?
Our funding comes from anyone who's supporting ALA, so it's a lot of friends or churches or just people we've met along the way who are supporting it. Anybody else?
How many different Rotary clubs have you spoken to in this region?
You guys are the first one.
Yeah.
I have 6 other ones to talk to.
Ah, great.
Yeah.
Did you live in one of those houses without a floor, or where do you live?
No, so the past year and a half I've been working with a different missionary group, and I live more American. I mean, we don't always have water, we don't always have lights, but I mean, we have a tile floor and I have a bed and hot water and stuff.
She stays at the Hyatt.
You said you were living with a missionary group.
Yes.
Is that a denominational group, or is it interdenominational?
I guess they would call themselves evangelical, but it's pretty much non-denominational. They accept any denomination. But yeah, both of the groups are missionary groups. Alice is also a missionary group. Anyone?
How long are you going to be down there for?
Not really sure. I've been there a year and a half, and I plan to be there as long as I need to. Yeah. Yes.
How are you supported personally?
Personal savings.
Oh.
Yeah.
Do you have people that support you personally?
No.
Okay.
No. Yes.
You were talking about some pretty heavy-duty sounding projects there. It seems like one of the problems is that the infrastructure doesn't exist to bring stuff like concrete in.
It actually,
Get materials to build a road.
so actually, we do have a pretty good road system that's being set up. It's still being built. There's about 20 to 30 minutes left of driving time that's on dirt roads. But the other ministry that I work with is building a hospital right next door to my house. So there is ways to make concrete there, bring in blocks and rebar and anything you need. Also, I'm not sure if any groups are interested in visiting, but we do have places set up that are set to American lifestyle kind of living conditions, and there's always opportunities to visit and stay with our ministries if you guys are ever interested in visiting any of these project sites. Yes.
I'm going to be in Guatemala in February. Our lives across the responsibility.
Okay.
I'll be there February 3rd.
And what area of Guatemala?
All of the mountains, we'll start from Guatemala City, we go to Lake Atlan, and
Thank you.